All right, everyone. Welcome to Saturday, April 7th. I'm very, very excited to be here this morning. I mean, I've done calls from a lot of different places, out on the sidewalk. What was that, Tuesday? I've done it from my car and garages. Now I'm in a closet. So this is just kind of what happens, I suppose, when you are on vacation and people are still asleep. So we're going to make it happen anyway. I've asked everyone in the family to drop in the chat just one cool thing that's happened to you this week. It could happen to you, your family members, one of your clients, one of your coaches. But I think it's important to start to have gratitude. And also, everyone that's on the call right now, put in the chat just one thing for me. And that one thing is thank you. So all of us right now, if we could all put in the chat, I'm going to as well, put in there, thank you. Thank you. And what we're saying thank you for is the fact that we're even on here, that we woke up this morning. You know, there's lots and lots and lots of people across this world that didn't have that opportunity. And yet we are awake right now on this call, about to get a good word. And I think at minimum, the thing that we could say is thank you. So today it's going to be exciting. You guys, this is our boot camp number 5. We've been rising up for 5 weeks now. Can you believe it? It seems like we just got going. And what I'm really excited about today is because weeks ago I told you guys that this training was going to build on the next training, on the last training. And that is what we've been doing. And to me, it's been one of the best series we've ever had, not just because of the transactional. We've always been really good with explaining to the field and to our team how to go out there and do things. What I've learned over the years is I literally am wasting time telling people how to do things, because I could tell them until the cows come home, until the pigeons come home, how to go out there and help more people and how to bless more lives and how they can drastically improve their situation. But what I've learned is human beings will never, ever, ever, ever do these things that are very simple, that are the how-tos, unless they know the whys. And if they don't know their whys, and if they don't understand, they're not connected to it, if it's not important to them, if they don't have enough reasons, they are not going to do these things that are very easy to do, which are the how-tos. So this series, what we've done, if we've brought a tremendous amount of transactional to, in hopes to help this group get in touch with their why, to really see what's possible and to see why it's so important, what we do and going out there and touching lives. So I'm going to move out of the way. What I want to do is just make sure that for the next about 70 minutes, because I know we're going to go over, you guys know we're going to go over. When have we ever ended on time? You already know what's going to happen. You probably already put in your calendar, you blocked this off to like to like 8:30, didn't you? Because you already know we're going over. I know we're going over. I'm not even going to try it anymore. But just lock in for like the next 70 minutes. We have some amazing trainers that are coming on. And I'm really excited for the things that we're going to learn today, because today we're going to dive in a little bit deeper. Is it okay if we dive in a little bit deeper? I want to ask for permission for me, because I got about 30 minutes to train you guys on my part. Is it okay if me and the rest of the trainers just kind of go a little bit unplugged today? Is that okay? I want to ask for permission so that we don't have to sort of mince our words, but we can sort of speak from the heart and just know that everything is coming from a space of goodness and wanting us to, bond together and really help you guys reach your goals and what you want to do. So I want to ask for permission before we just start getting, crazy with things. So let's do that. Next 70 minutes, can you be locked? Can you be focused? Can you be tuned in to what we are doing? So I want to move out of the way. I want to start this with doing a little bit of something that is review for a lot of us, but it's important. And I think it was the second or the third boot camp that we had. We brought on Casey Hibansky, who's just an amazing coach. And she took us through one of the greatest portions of a training we've ever had, with really showing us the 3x3x3. And so I've asked her to come back on today to do it again so that we can start to do the fundamentals, have that become habit so that we can focus on the number one thing that it takes to really build this business. And that is sponsoring. Let me just say this too, before I bring you on, Casey. I promise it's going to be the last thing. Today, we are going to talk a lot about numbers. I don't want to, here's what I know. Sometimes when we can talk about numbers, people can go to this space to where they say, well, I thought this was about people. We always start with loving people. We all know this, right? So, and I say this because years ago, I was in conversation with a coach, and it was really a breakthrough for me. She was a huge nurturer, and I was trying to help her reach her goals. And I kept saying things like frontline volume. So how close are you to 6,000 frontline volume? How close are you to 7,000 frontline volume? And I could feel this energy from her, and she was growing more and more upset. And I said, just talk to me. What's going on? And she says, you're always talking about numbers. You don't care about people. And I said, oh, interesting. Well, let's explore. How can I say this better so that it can get through to you? And she says, well, just sort of focus on the people. And I said, okay, well, how far are we from helping 22 people this month? And she says, well, we're like 6 people away. And in my head, I was like, you realize 22 people is like $7,000 in frontline volume, right? So it was just this juxtaposition. It was the words that was really throwing her off. So I had to realize that I cannot talk to everyone the same. If I'm talking to nurturers, I have to talk about people. Today, we're going to talk about numbers. So if you're a nurturer, just understand we always understand that this is about people, okay? It's just vernacular. So let's jump into this. Casey, can you come on off and really take us through the 3x3x3, which you do so well?
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Well, let me go ahead and share my screen. Get this pulled up here. And click on present. There we go. And I think we should be good. Okay, so today talking about the 3x3x3 and making connections, or if you're that nurturer, think about it as just developing more relationships. Let me set my timer. We're good. Okay. Let's see. Oh. All right. The daily 3x3x3, and I say daily so that we can be consistent with this. And what does that look like? So when we're talking about 3x3x3, then we are talking about 3 social media posts. And like I talked about a couple weeks ago, those social media posts can also include Instagram's stories, which link right to your Facebook stories. So using those as another tool, because that reaches some people who just want to just flip through and check out those quick stories. So 3 social media posts, and they consist of maybe a before and after picture, something with your family life. I love to share pictures of me and my husband out doing things, going for walks, taking Mikey on walks, whatever, is important to you with your family. And then, of course, interests. Interests are also great as far as just sharing like music. Maybe you take a screenshot of like the song that you're listening to and how you're feeling with that, with the vibes, anything with the arts. I love sharing inspirational posts. I think that they are so helpful. I actually get a lot of messages based off of the inspirational posts that I share, maybe fitness tips or even recipes. So doing those 3 social media posts a day. And when we say these daily 3x3x3s, we're talking about at least 3. So the next part is starting 3 conversations, and those would be new conversations each day. I love to start birthday messages. Those are kind of the easiest way to go right now. And I don't just comment on their page. So really what I'm doing is I see that it's their birthday, or maybe I have it in my calendar and just know, and I'm going to start a conversation either through text message or maybe I'm doing that through a private Facebook message, and really getting that conversation going there, because they're going to come back and say thanks. And so then what I do is I do one of the things that I do with the follow-ups to any likes or comments from any of my posts. I say, hey, what's new with you? By saying what's new with you, it's opening up that conversation. It's opening up that dialogue a lot more than saying, how are you? Because when you just say, how are you? What are they going to come back with? Fine, doing fine. But if you say what's new with you, they're going to go into a little bit more. And then they're going to say to you, what's new with you? And that's when you can talk about, oh my gosh, I always say, between being a busy mom and coaching and just life in general, things are busy but good. So then a lot of times that conversation will roll into, well, tell me a little bit more about what you do as a coach, because I just kind of sprinkled that in there. And then what you're doing with these follow-ups and these conversations is you're adding these back to your list, to your contact list, so that you know to go back through, because some of these conversations might take a little longer than just that day. And so then you're going to go through your friends list also and start with a specific letter, maybe comment, like, or ask a question on their post to just spark some engagement, starting conversations that way. And then the final thing with the 3x3x3 is new connections or adding friends. So Facebook does a great job, even Instagram, with suggesting friends, adding there, or starting there for adding your friends, or going into your current friends list and find the ones that say, when you're going into Joe's list and of his friends, and it says add friend. And I always look to see, well, okay, this friend who is Diane, friends with Joe, she also has about 5 friends that I share with her. So I'm going to go ahead and add her, so that it's not just some rando person that that they see, who's Casey? Who is this? No, we've got about 5 mutual friends. So they're going to see that there's some trust there. So that's kind of the 3x3x3. And again, it is all about just making that consistent and at least being 3x3x3. So starting conversations. What I love about this conversation is that this took some time. This conversation started over a year ago. I thanked Brooke for liking one of my pictures, asked her if she would mind, if she knew anybody that was looking to lose weight. I didn't assume that Brooke was looking for that. Come off of meds or just learn healthier habits. Would she, maybe share my information? And she didn't get back to me. But then, about a few months later, she messaged me asking for information. And of course, my next goal was to move it to the phone. So, hey, Brooke, I'd love to talk with you and hear more about your goals so that I can see which of our programs would best fit your needs. Do you have some time to chat tomorrow evening or sometime during the day on Thursday? Definitely giving choices, specific choices to set up those appointments, and then moving it to the phone. And then this next one was actually a referral. So I reached out to Kim, and I didn't assume that Kim wanted to know about this for herself. I didn't assume, hey, Kim wants to lose weight. So what I simply asked was, are you interested in learning more about the program I coach for yourself or someone that you know? And she came back with, sure, for myself. So again, what I'm doing here is really just wanting to move it to the phone. And as you can see, Kim kind of went silent for a little bit. So I followed back up and said, is there a better time this week that we could chat for a few minutes to see if, what we offer is something that would fit what you're looking for health-wise? And again, she didn't respond. Kim's birthday popped up. Personal message to Kim. Happy birthday, Kim. Thank you. I meant to send you a message the other day. Sorry, I'm available tomorrow afternoon. And I just simply said, that's okay. I know people get busy. Can I give you a call tomorrow between 12 and 2? Gave a specific time. And then I gave my number, asked for the best number to reach her, and then set up the conversation. So again, always moving this to the phone. That's what you're seeing with these conversations, guys. And this is following up with a like. What I love about this particular conversation is that it wasn't off of a before and after picture. So this is following up with a picture that I shared of my adorable son right there. And actually, what I like about this too is that my husband actually shared this picture and tagged me in it. So I went to those likes from the tags and just moved this conversation to the phone. Hey, Debbie, thanks so much for liking the picture of Mikey. He's such a ham already. I saw where you recently moved into your new house. So I had gone to Debbie's page, kind of did a little detective work, seen what was going on new with her, and moved that conversation a little bit more. And then, of course, she went into, I'm wondering what type of program that you're coaching, would really be interested to learn more. And here we go, moving it to the phone, offer various plans. So I'd love to hear more about what you would like to do and see if it's the right fit. So Carol Hips, who is an integrated presidential director and moved very fast through our company. I'm sure many of you know her. I love to follow kind of what she's doing with her posts. And here is some examples. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this, guys. This is really, really helpful, and I use these conversations a lot. So just her interaction through liking and commenting on some of these posts. So she just simply says, thanks for liking my post. Your support really encourages me to keep sharing my health journey, always hoping to add value to others. I would go into that a little bit more and ask, a question engaging them, what's new with you? That is the simplest thing to say that really just opens up that dialogue. Here's one where she's basically following up with those likes from a before and after. So thank you for liking my post of my friend Anna. Your support really encourages me to keep sharing transformations of my friends, and I know she appreciates all of the support too. Screenshot this. This is really super helpful with some of these comments that she opens up in these personal messages with people. New friend conversation starters. So I love this, like going in when you've seen who has accepted your friend request or just come on and added you. Hi, so-and-so, thanks so much for accepting my friend request. I'm not sure that we actually have met in person, but we have some friends in common. I love connecting with new people on social media. Plus, I figured we know each other one way or another with all those mutual friends. I love doing these. I did this just the other day with someone who I'd never really met in person, but we had mutual friends, and I did an explore call with that person yesterday. So again, moving these to the phone. This is just some starters for you. Here's where Carol kind of does an interaction through liking of she's posting about her living room, guys. It's so simple. So just making sure that you're interacting with all of those likes and those comments. If you don't have time to do it that day, then make a list and come back to them. It's always really good to be able to have these. So, and I know my timer's going off, but I just want to finish right here with the tips. So consistently expand your lists. Be social, move it to the phone. Don't do this over a private message. Never give this information away on private message. So move it to the phone. Be authentic, be real. Don't try to get or hook anyone. Have fun with these conversations. Like, they're not going to happen right then and there. Like I showed you before, some of these conversations took months. One took a year. There are a few of them that I have that took a year. And have fun, or you're not doing it right. So just really, Jamil's talked with me a lot about just enjoying that process. And that's what's been really helpful for me the past few months and has been a shift. So let me go ahead and get out of here. I think I did pretty well. I'm excited. Woo.
I think you did great, man. Did she do great, you guys? I mean, Casey's such a natural. I really appreciate you. So I think that you guys write down on your piece of paper for me that what makes this process, what makes it work, all of these things are interconnected. They are they inter-be. Trying to do one without the other is well, it just doesn't work as well. It'd be trying to have a table stand up and it only has 3 legs. It's just, you could do it. It would just look weird and you wouldn't have as much success as you wanted. So all of these things are married together. What I see coaches doing is they're picking and choosing which one feels okay. And they're picking and choosing. They're not working in structure. They're working in emotion. I'll do it when I get time. You're never going to get time. You have to make the time. Use a calendar like we've been suggesting since day one. Stop picking and choosing which one of these things feels comfortable to do for that day and do them all consistently. And it works. It's one of the easiest ways to go out there and to build your business, which means we are going to be touching lives, authentic connections and conversations every single day. Hashtag what? DIA. Casey, that was so good. Also, write down in your notes this. Write down easy. Write this down. This business is easy. Everyone write that down, please. Take a second. This business is easy. But then put if. Put a big if and circle it 3 times. If we do the work and if we work on ourselves, personal development. The only reason why it's hard is because we will not move out of our own way. That's the only reason why it would be challenging. My son, who's 7, can do these action steps. Like, we're not asking to do molecular biology, although I know many of you guys can. Me personally, not so much because I'm not that bright, but I know many of you guys can do that. So let's dive into this a little bit more. Casey, that was so good, which is why so many asked for an encore. I don't even know which screen I'm sharing. Am I sharing the right screen? Okay. Oh, hopefully this is right. Casey, can you see this? Am I sharing my slides? Okay. Okay, you guys, let's jump into the, well, there's Casey and her adorable baby. Like she said, hey, that's Bobby. I was talking about the baby, not Bobby. So what Casey is doing is she's showing us the power of consistency. This is also goes for bringing on coaching partners. It's not just for clients. What is the number one way that we can drastically explode our businesses and help more people? Please drop it in the chat. What's the number one way that we can drastically explode our businesses and help more people? That is called sponsoring. Why do you think we've been spending so much effort on teaching guys how to sponsor? Because it's by far the number one way to build your business and to help more people. So what Casey's talking about is the power of consistency. This is exactly what we want to do if we want to have healthy finances as well. Start being consistent with having exponential growth. So Casey's talking about in March, she's starting these conversations. And because she's doing it every single day, by the way, 3 by 3 by 3, it's minimum. How do you think I reached global director in 10 months? I was doing 10 by 10 by 10. It's just numbers. So 3 by 3 by 3 is minimum. This is for any just normal person who walks off the street to be able to help as many people as they want to. This business is easy if. So we start conversations every single day. We know that those conversations are going to lead to health assessments. We know that we want to start anywhere from 5+ clients per month. So from these conversations in March, we're going to start some clients. Now, what's awesome about doing this every single day is some of those conversations are going to filter over and start bringing clients in April. And then some of those conversations from March are actually going to filter over and bring some clients in May, and then in June, and then July, and then in August. And by the time some of these clients are falling off, guess what happens? We still have clients here in the green from April. We still have clients that have come from what we did in May. We still have clients that came from what we did in June. Like, this is called exponential growth. So when I hit global director, everyone started asking me, how'd you hit global director? And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, all of a sudden you hit global. And I was like, all of a sudden, I've been doing this every single day for the last 7 months. Annika Relaford is one of the most perfect examples of this power of consistency. She is bringing on so many coaches right now, not because of what she did this month or last month or the month before that. We started this process like last June, and now it's all starting to have exponential growth. Do you understand this? Does this slide make sense? Okay, so Optavia Coach Journey. We have seen this a lot. I keep showing it because I really want us to start to sink in. I wanted it to start to seep in and for us to understand what the journey looks like. If we are loving this, if we love going out there and blessing lives, helping people this way, if we love what's happening to us, if we want to continue to build a magnificent business that can bring tremendous amount of freedom, this is the journey. So we all start as a new coach. We make our way to senior coach, which is a very simple process. Then from senior coach, if we love it, we go to executive director, the fully integrated business coach, and then on to fully integrated business leader. This is the journey. Isn't it kind of cool to come in to something and know what the path is? For you not to try to have to figure it out. What do I do? What steps do I take? What do I say? It's already figured out for you, and you have incredible people who are committed to showing you how to do it step by step. I mean, what an incredible business. Can we put in a chat again? Thank you that we don't have to try to figure this stuff out on our own, but that people will literally show us how to do this. So in order to move along that path, we have to understand the point system. Yes, even you nurturers that just want to love on people. I get you. I love you. We need you. But in order for us to build something substantial, we kind of need to know the numbers. Is that okay? You guys gave me permission to just speak freely. If we don't understand these point systems, it's going to be very, very hard to build a business. So we get 1 point for every 1,200 we have in frontline volume. It starts with a minimum of 5 ordering entities. And then we get 1 point for every qualified senior coach team, every senior coach line of business. You guys understand that? So if you had 3,600 in frontline volume, how many points would you have? Drop in the chat. Yeah, 3,600 in frontline volume. We're going to do quick math real fast. Tell Justin Avini not to do this. Just kidding, Justin. I'm just messing with you, bro. I know you know how to do it. Okay, so different ways to go executive director. Years ago, we used to spend all of our time going executive director via the 5-0 plan. We would come in here and we were really good at it, and we'd just be focused on bringing on clients. Which is your focus? What we did not focus on was identifying potential coaching partners, which is now our focus. So now we have a double focus. We're going to bring on clients and we're going to bring on coaches at about the same pace. Years ago, we were all 5-1. We just raced to 6,000 frontline volume. Actually, drop in the chat which way you went executive director. Did you go 5-0, the 4-1, the 3-2, or a different way? Generally, these are the ways that we see. Now what's becoming really popular and what we see the best way to go executive director is probably the 4-1 and the 3-2. And what this means is you are not doing all the work. You actually understand who you are as a coach. You actually understand our trilogy. You understand our business model. You understand our mission. You understand people. You understand that people are not just looking for physical health, but people are dying every single day with their mental and emotional, they're just being trampled by these thoughts and this lack of freedom, this stress that's literally taking their lives away and affecting their family. These people are suffering from that. These people are suffering from poor financial stability and ability. They are sitting around hoping that like this magic bag of money is going to fall down from the sky, and it's never going to happen. They're going to need to go out there and have an opportunity, have someone help them change their financial situation. Guess who that person is? You. It's me. It's Optavia Coaches. We are not just weight loss coaches. I really want us to understand that before we get off of this call. So the best way to go executive director is probably 4-1 and 3-2. Now, you're going to need less clients, probably 15 or so clients. We're going to have a volume of 48, and we have 4 points from our volume. Remember, a point is 1,200, and we have 1 point from our senior coach teams, which is awesome. Same thing with the 3-2. We have about 12 clients, which is great. And our support team is helping us establish 2 senior coach flags. Isn't that kind of cool? And our monthly income is going to be somewhere between $1,500 and $3,000 a month. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. For someone that's actually engaged and they actually have a work ethic and they actually love people and they actually can follow directions, this, I don't want to say should, I don't want to should on anyone, but a great timeline is about 60 days for this to happen. For many of us, this 5-0 thing took like 4 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. But this is a great way to go, executive director. This is so important for you business coaches. I cannot tell you at the end of the month how many times I'm looking at people's businesses and I'm like, do you know you have a coach that can go executive director? They're like, no, what do you mean? I'm like, well, this person has 3,400 in frontline volume. They have one senior coach leg, and they have another coach who's only 2 clients away from reaching senior coach. You are only 3 clients away from reaching executive director. Did you know that? And they say, no, I didn't know. And they didn't know because they don't know how to, I don't want to say they don't know how to read numbers, but look, it's just points. We have to understand the points. You guys understand what I'm saying? So from going executive director, we want to go executive director strong. What does this mean? It means that we want to have our frontline volume approaching 8,500 or more, and we want to have at least 3 senior coach legs. Now, history has told us that one of these senior coach legs is going to probably be an associate director, director, or an executive director. That's just what it kind of happens to be. And so this is going executive director strong. And what's so neat about this is now our income's about $3,500 to $5,000 a month. I'm not gonna say this, but if I did ask folks to put a 1 in the chat, don't do it. If your income is in between that, I mean, this thing would be blowing up. This is not hard to do if we could do 3 things. We actually truly care about people. We actually have a work ethic, and we actually can follow directions. If we can actually do those things, then this is not hard to do. So from there, we want to build to FIBC. This is where we want to be. This is the foundations of starting to have a solid business. Up until this point, we don't. At this point, now we're starting to have a solid business. This means a tremendous amount of people are being helped directly and indirectly from you. So as a coach, we want to start to build our frontline volume up over 10,000 frontline volume. We had 23 people in the 10K club in our family last month. So you cannot tell me that this is not possible. Many of them still work full-time jobs. They have like 15,000 kids. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with these folks, and they're still doing it. And then we want to have at least 5 senior coach legs, but we always want to spare. Why do we want to spare, you guys? Why do we want to have at least a 6 senior coach leg? Put it in the chat. Why do we want to have a spare? So the income on this, you can see, we're going to have about 10 to 15 points. And the income on this is about $4,500 to $8,000 a month. You guys, this is substantial. Are you kidding me? With your little hobby, with your little side hustle, this little thing that I thought was beneath me as a new coach. I got a real job. Like, this is substantial. And what's the best thing about it? You got a lot of people whose lives are changing in the process. Isn't that what this is about? This is building a strong foundation. This is you starting to work smart. This is you having exponential growth. This is you utilizing something called leverage, which most people don't. That's why most people are going to be working until they die. You have a business to where you don't have to do that. You start to bring on partners, and more people get touched. Karen Elstrom's going to talk about that at the end. And you, my friend, are touching more lives, but you're also building more freedom. In most jobs, if you start to earn more income, you start to work more. It actually gets a little bit more stressful. You have less of a life. Please understand this. As you build this business, it's the opposite. This is one of the first foundations you want to get to. And then the ultimate goal, to start with is global director. And this is what it looks like. So you're going to be executive director running 10,000 frontline volume and above. We have many, many, many people doing this. And we're going to have 5 executive director legs with a spare. Why do we want to have a spare, you guys? Please drop it in the chat. Why are we not just resting with these 5 executive director legs? When I went global, we went global with 6. I've only known a few people to do that, but I'm telling you, it's important. Why do we want to have an extra executive director leg? One, it's just a philosophy of living in abundance. My 7-year-old son, Ezra, will tell you in my house, we have a model, and that is to do more than what's expected. So when I ask Ezra, how many push-ups are you going to do? And he tells me 10, I know he's really going to do 11. And when he does 11, I say, Ezra, why did you do 1 more? And he says, well, Dad, because we do more than what's expected. Life is going to happen to some of these folks. What you don't want is for your business to be effective because life is going to happen to some of those folks. So the income on that is a wide range, anywhere from about $10,000 to $45,000, not a year, a month. You guys okay with that? Now, I told you it took me 10 months to reach a global director. So again, this is not hard to do. If, and what's that if? There's always an if. Jim Rohn told me life is iffy. So how do we start to do that? Let's talk about this thing called the MAP. The MAP stands for your monthly action plan. By the end of the month, your MAP should look like a wrinkled up piece of paper that you stomped on 15,000 times. Your dog may have done some things too, like your kids, put it in a washer and a dryer. Like your MAP should look jacked up because you're actually using it. You guys you're hearing my words, right? Like what I'm saying right now is so important. And I want to make sure it's not getting lost because there's a million different thoughts that are going through your head right now. Your MAP, you'll want to use every single day. It's strategic planning. It's I'm moving this person to here. I'm moving this person to here. I'm moving this person up here. I'm moving this person over here. Like, this is how you want to use it. What I'm noticing as we're doing more and more maps is lots and lots of people have tremendous amount of clients that are here. What we're not seeing is the correct ratio of clients moving to coaches. So business coaches, please start working with your coaches and help them identify who these coaches are in their client base. A new coach has no clue. They probably only think there's only one person in there that's a coach. Well, really, all 24 of these people are coaches. They just don't know it yet because they don't know how to identify these folks. And new coaches, just understand there is a ratio. So just follow the ratio. For about every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clients we have, there is at least one coach that's in there. How do we know? Because you're on the line right now listening to my words. You were probably one of these clients that didn't know that you're a coach, and yet you're on this call right now. What makes you think that these people here are not like you? People, let me tell you something about people. We are more similar than we are not similar. That's what I know about people. So please start working the ratios and then have a separate list. Top 10 is great. Have a completely separate list of potential coaches and clients. Top 10 is like minimum. What we're doing is giving minimum action steps. The other thing is utilize your activity tracker. Here's a hint, here's a clue. The more activity you do, the more people are going to be helped. I know it's a crazy concept, but it's true. The more work you do, starting, by the way, with leading with your health. Let me say that again. Starting, by the way, with leading with your health. The more activity you do, the more people are going to be helped. The stronger business you grow. So 5 areas of sponsoring. Mindset, it always starts with how you choose to think. How big do you see it? Are you coming from a growth mindset or are you coming from a fixed mindset? Most coaches are coming from a fixed mindset. This is why if they have 15 clients and I say, how many coaches are in your clients? They will tell me, oh, I could see Sally being a coach. In my mind, I'm like, just Sally? What about the other 14? But they don't see that yet. We have a mindset of abundance. Every single person is a coach. Then we go into identifying these folks, layering and dripping, approaching and exploring. The approach is not to explore. I'll get into that in a minute. But the approach is just asking someone, would you be open to exploring it? Not, do you want to coach? So let's dive into the mindset. I'm going to go through these things quickly because my time's already up. Casey, you put me behind, girl. Just kidding. So mindset, this is having an understanding that coaching is best for most people. And I didn't get this for a long time. It took me like 6 or 7 months to finally start to understand that coaching truly is the best thing for most people. It's also understanding that we don't offer weight loss or just program. What we offer is optimal health. We offer a chance for you to change your entire life, not just your physical life. Did you guys know that? And so the healthy mind and healthy finances are key parts to this. We understand that coaching is better for them than it is for us. If you have been involved in the sponsoring boot camp that we've laid out this week, then you understand that the coach gets by far the greater benefit than the person that sponsors them. By far. It's not even close. It is not even close. And I'm not even speaking economically. I'm speaking about just personally, professionally, spiritually. Like I'm talking everything relationally. So sponsoring is a day-to-day practice, not just a once in a while thing. What I have noticed is when we run sponsoring boot camps, then we bring on a tremendous amount of coaches because people are focused on it. They are doing the action steps day in and day out. Once the sponsoring boot camp is over, they go back to not practicing the stuff every single day. So sponsoring is a mindset. It's a daily practice. It's just like brushing your teeth. So identifying. So we need to know where and who are my next coaches. Where are they at? Priscilla Allen's going to do a great job for us at some point today once I finally stop. We're going to bring her on. She's going to help us figure out how to identify these people. What are their names and what do I do to see them as a coach? Layering, dripping, and planting seeds is the most important thing. I don't want to say the most, but it is crucial. This is a process that goes on sometimes for some of my best coaches. I layered, I dripped, I planted seeds for 5, 6, 7 months, 2 years. I mean, Annika took her 3 years. So this is constantly mentioning coaching or something about how they might make a great coach. This is ongoing. It's every call, it's every interaction, it's every single time you have a chance. Oftentimes, please write this down. Oftentimes it takes at least 10 times of dripping, of layering, of saying, hey, you'd be awesome at this. Hey, did you know you'd be a great coach? Did you know coaching could actually help that? Oh, you're complaining about not having time again. Do you even realize how often you say that? You probably don't because you walk around like a robot. Did you know that that's one of the reasons why you should coach? We should explore that sometime. That is layering, that's dripping, that's planting seeds. Oh my gosh, you'd make a great health coach. What's up, coach? That's dripping, that's layering, that's planting seeds. We are need to do that. It's going to take at least 10 times probably before we even approach. Now, the approach is all about being bold. It just takes stepping out of your comfort zone. That's why I said if. This business is easy if. Because to tell someone why they would make a great coach, asking them if they would like to explore what that might look like for them, that is not hard to do. Hey, you're amazing. You're like one of the most impressive people I ever seen. You'd be an amazing coach. Are you open to exploring that sometime? Like, that is so easy. And yet, enough of us are not doing it consistently. So the approaching or layering does not end here if the answer is no or not yet. Most people, you guys, please put a 1 in the chat again if you didn't think you're a coach or if you said no. Please put a 1 in the chat. Most people are not going to be ready right now. That was you, and yet you're still here. This is how your clients, your coaches, your pre-clients, your pre-coaches are going to be. So what do you think it's going to take for us to do? Over and 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 over again. This is what it takes. So layering and approaching is a day-to-day or week-to-week activity. Most coaches just don't do it enough. I'm telling you, if you do this, they will be right here on this line on Saturday morning of next year, growing with us. So the Explorer is so simple. The Explorer is no different than what we do on the client side. Okay, so we can get into that. I'm going to skip some of these. This is our system and all that stuff. But let me move out of the way, and I want to bring on Ashley Ammon, who's just phenomenal at what she does as an integrated coach. And I want her to explain to us, what do we do when we start to bring on a new coach and they might just shoot out of the gates and they're helping people, then all of a sudden we may not see much action for them. So Ashley, can you come on and explain to us, what do we do?
Yes, for sure. So I'm excited because this is something that I have just really started working on the last 2 months with my coaches. And so the biggest thing that I will suggest to you guys is to take a step back and do some self-reflection. Really look at your own agenda. See if you're actually focusing on your coach's goals and what they want to create for themselves, or if you're just pushing, hitting your next goal. Because the way you're going to mentorship them is very different. So taking that time to just reflect, am I pushing them too hard? Am I giving them too many actions? Am I just following that simple system? Or am I adding something more? Did you actually take the time to figure out what their why is, if they have specific goals that they're shooting for? And then really sit with that, be honest with yourself. And if you didn't take that time, it's not too late to go back. So that's something that I'm doing now with a lot of my coaches who maybe started off doing well, but life happens. Maybe someone said something kind of judgmental to them about what they're doing. Maybe they fell off their own program, so that's kind of derailed their action steps. So what I do, or what I have been done this last couple months, is set up a time to get one-on-one with them. Zoom is best because then you can really feel out the pulse of what they're thinking, what it is they really want, and you can connect to that, because you're going to mentor them so much better if you really feel what they want. And obviously, if they have concepts, that's going to come up when you're going over things with them. So really important not to do that just by texting or messenger. That way they can really feel that your heart is in it for them and you're not just wanting them to do these things for you. And so that one-on-one Zoom, if you didn't get a chance to do those, what's their why, what's their goals, go ahead and, they probably gave you a little bit in the beginning. So ask them if those things are still important to them, and just say, hey, let's explore that a little bit deeper, what it is you really want. If you could be living your best life, because again, we want to have that abundance. So a lot of times new coaches have very limited mindset. They don't think that they're going to be able to accomplish a lot. That was me. I had no goals, you guys. I had very small mindset. So really coming with that posture that you are going to be able to achieve these goals, that our team is very successful at partnering with you to go ahead and accomplish this. And then ask them for permission if you can help lead them in these actions. Ask them again for permission if you can give them the things that will help them move them to that place. And once they say yes, that's kind of their opening for you to coach them a little bit harder because they told you they want these things. So that way you can check in on them, see if there's anything they have hangups on, go through those steps that Casey went through in the beginning. See, some people might need a little bit more hand holding in the beginning if they have concepts on specific areas. So really breaking it down. Okay, how are you feeling about this? Do you need suggestions? Are you having a hard time just coming up with what to post, what to send in your follow-up? What are you sending? Just asking those simple questions. That way you can move past those hangups, and then they have that safe place to be open with you versus, just chatting on Messenger. They're not going to open up. They're going to say, yeah, I'm doing my actions, but you might not know where they're struggling. So you just being open, asking them for permission really gives them that freedom to open up and be honest with you. And when you're doing this with them, I've found it really motivates them to go ahead and do these things. So that way it's less you, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? They catch that vision for themselves when you actually break down what it is that they want. And you speak that life into them, that they can have that if they do these simple action steps. And then really breaking down how much time do they have per day to do it. Helping them fit it in their schedule, because like Jamil said, a lot of people have full-time jobs. So helping them know that this should not take that much time if they're doing it out of structure and they do some of that background steps to get going. So that way you can help them just shift their mindset that this is going to take all of their time. They're going to be constantly on Facebook. So helping them know what that should look like and really partnering up with them to fit it into their day. And then, again, some people will take off right away once you kind of do this with them. Some people are still going to need a little bit more hand holding from you. So just love on them. You'll know who wants to move and who needs to just have that love, that affirmation from you. And eventually, they're going to catch that vision once they maybe work through a concept. Just loving them through the process, really being open with them that you're there for them and that you can go ahead and reach these goals. Thanks, guys.
She is so good. And you guys, I know I'm getting a little bit fired up. I got a couple messages, but thank you guys for just allowing us to kind of bring it today. So one of the ways that what's happening right now, we see this is and I'm looking at Kirsten, she's so good with this too, is video is really exploding our businesses. And Monica Villarreal is one of the best that I know in terms of working videos and doing Facebook Live. So I want to bring her off to really explain to us, how has this really been shaping your business and why do you see it helping so many people these days? Monica, you there?
I'm here. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for asking me to share. I will tell you that doing these live videos in the very beginning was super scary. And so that's the one thing that I want to share with you is, number one, I understand that it's scary, but the only way that it won't be scary is if you just do it. So the reason why we do that is because people need to get to know you. I know you hear that all the time, but we need to cultivate trust. And that happens by people getting to hear you, see kind of what's happening in your life, your tone, your body language. There's lots of energy people out there. I'm one of them. They want to get to know your energy. There's so much that you can hide in a post that you maybe just write. And when people get to actually see you, it makes a really big difference. So one thing that's really helped me as far as embracing this whole thing is understanding everything is numbers, guys. So out of 1% of the people that are out there, 33.3 of them are going to adore you. 33.3 of them are going to halfway like you. And 33.3 of them are not going to like you at all. Guess what? You're looking for your 33.3. So that means go be you. Don't overthink this. You don't have to be super inspirational or have the most incredible tidbit out there. Some of the most shared videos of mine are when I've been crying, when I'm authentically like my own personal struggles. One of the videos that was shared the most was me prancing around Target in a unicorn costume. That went out all over. And guess what? Somebody reached out to me and said, I've been watching you for a year and I want to do this with you. And the goal is going to be when I lose my 100 pounds, I want to prance around Target in a unicorn costume with you. And guess what? A year later, we actually did that. Who knew that my retarded unicorn video was going to bring in that person? But it did, you know, and that was just me being me, you know? So we only get better by doing it over and over, you know? I remember in the beginning, my videos, I used to, you know, analyze the crap out of them until I finally just embraced that 33.3 of the people are gonna like me. And so just go be me. I have had clients come to me lately and say, you know, Monica, I have been watching you. I've been watching you for well over a year. And whatever it is that you're doing, I'm sold. I don't even know what it is that you're doing, but I want to work with you. I can see how it's changed you. I can see your mindset's changed. I want to work with you. So I would just encourage you to go be you. You know, it could, your live videos don't, like I said, have to always be super inspirational. They could be with your kids, outings that you're on, books that you're reading about, the hummingbirds in your backyard, the nail color that you chose, things that are going to make you. And those people are going to come to you. So this is really scary if you think of it that way. But what I've learned is that it's so exciting to see who's going to come into your circle. You don't know. You don't know until you put yourself out there. Think about who is praying for you. Not what you look like or what you sound like, but somebody wants to hear your message. I remember the day when Jamil was meditating and he came up with his mantra to do it anyway, his DIA. You know what else? Do it afraid. DIA, do it afraid. WWJD. Whoa. That way. Successful people have a scared list, but they have just learned to do it anyway. So don't hide. Don't overanalyze it. Just be yourself. And those people that are going to want to work with you are genuinely going to want to work with you once they get to know you. You're all incredible. People just don't know it. So go show them and then watch them come.
So good. Thank you so much. Monica, was that good, you guys? Video, honestly, business changed so fast, you guys. And right now it is about video. I mean, you know, the highest form of what we do is serve people. But before we have the opportunity to serve them, we have to connect authentically with them. And this is one of the best ways to connect authentically and to cultivate trust is to actually use video. So I love that. You know, I've been preaching about where that many of our clients are coaches, and they are. I know it for a fact. But sometimes we just don't know where to look for them, right? I want to bring on Priscilla Allen, who's just super talented and gifted to really teach us and spend some time with us to show us where we can find those hidden clients. So Priscilla, are you there this morning?
Yeah, I'm here. Can
Hello.
you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
It's 11 o'clock.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So, like Jamil was saying, you know, obviously we need to, most of our clients, or at least I like to see, I know they tell us to 1 in 5 are businesses, but I say, okay, I have 35 clients in here. All of them are going to be coaches. They just don't know it. So it's just, I think coming in with that mentality, when I do the map sessions with the coaches on my team, I tell them, I know there's that little one space for one line, but one way or another, coaching can serve every single person. I think it's just having the skill set and learning why coaching would serve that a certain individual. So one of the most easiest ways, obviously, to find coaches within your clients is your clients that are already welcoming people into your support pages, right? When you see your client consistently welcome other, brand new clients, or when they're posting their lean and green meals, or when they're encouraging others, or when they're sharing, their story, their success stories, or if they hit a plateau, what they did, these people are coaches. They just don't know it. So always keeping an eye on that. What's really cool about the Facebook algorithms is that the Facebook algorithms, if you obviously added the person in the support group, you will consistently see if they add something or they post something. So it's always just keeping your eye on those people that are very active in the community pages. Those are the people living their life out loud on Facebook too. So even if they're not, maybe posting directly, oh, I'm losing 10 pounds or I'm losing 15 pounds or whatever, I'll talk about that quickly, but even if they're just posting, maybe they're leaning greens or like stuff like that, those are coaches, right? They're living their life aloud. They're attracting people. They're attracting a client. They're attracting an audience. Those people are coaches. People that do lives, like Monica said earlier today, people that are very active. When you see these people, they're coaches. They're creating an audience. Plus, the way I love to tell them is like, look, you are going to be your own walking advertisement for real. I can help and serve your family and friends, but first off, they're going to want you. Second off, I don't want to get paid for what you can get paid for. And third, you're going to be your own walking advertisement. So just kind of, being able to see through these little lines and stuff, to see what your clients are doing and stuff. And I'm really sorry about my daughter. She's been quiet this whole time, and now she's asking for candy at 8 in the morning. So anyway, people that are celebrating themselves as well, right? If somebody sends you a text message, woo, I'm down 10.5 pounds or I'm down 15 pounds. When you see that, people that are consistently sending you text messages about their progress, those are coaches. So you definitely want to go in there and you want to be able to be like, yes, coach. And I think like Jamil said earlier today, just layering them with little things like, hey, coach, what up? Or whatever, layering people like that little by little, so those people that are very, very engaged with their journey and they're sending you consistently, you're not even having to reach out to them. Those are coaches. But find out, I challenge you guys and encourage to go through your map and actually go through every client and figure out how coaching could serve that certain individual. It doesn't have to be because they're living out loud. It doesn't have to be for other things. It could be financial. It could be mindsets, all these things. Everybody has qualities as to why they can coach. That's all I have for you, Jamal.
That was so good. So much value. Yeah, some of your best coaches are hidden in those spaces that Priscilla's talking about. We just have to keep our coaching goggles on. I know it sounds a little crazy, but just identifying them. And I think, since we're on the topic and since we've been talking so much about, Priscilla, thank you so much. We couldn't even hear you, darling. She sounds great anyway. Asking for candy this early is a little weird, but no, just kidding. But, just keep your coach goggles on. Just know what to look for. And then that way it'll be easier for you. Now it's gotten to the point when I'm in conversations, it's going to get to this point. I'm telling you, for some of you guys, you're there already. When I'm talking to someone, like I'll have a day to where I'm like, I don't really want to talk about coaching. Is it okay if I say that? I'll have maybe a day like that. And I'll meet someone. And just from talking to them for like 5 minutes, I'm like, oh my gosh, coaching would really help them. And then in my head, there's this ping pong and I'm like, but I don't want to talk about it today. Well, you have to. Like, it can completely change everything for them. I'm like, yeah, but we're kind of on vacation. But it can completely change their life. Like, they keep saying all these things. They don't have time. They never spend time with their family. They're always stressed out. They don't have the money. They barely made it to Florida, all the stuff. Like, they couldn't even pay for the dinner. I'm like, all right, dude, you got to say something. Like, if you know what to look for, then this is where you really start to understand that it is appropriate for just about every single person. And what Priscilla's talking about is just helping you become more aware of where to look for these things. They're telling you every single day. You just don't know what to listen for and what to look for yet. But I'm telling you, they're telling you because it is an optimal health program. It's a lifestyle program. And we can help them in every single area. Now, whether or not they're ready is up to them. This is why we layer and plant seeds and drip so much, and then we approach and explore. So I want to go out to actually Kirsten, because if you talk about her and Nick and Annika, and then we're just blowing up right now, bringing on so many coaches. So I want to bring her off and really explain to us, how are they sponsoring so many people? And it looks like we have, I don't know which one of them I'm going to bring off, because they both have their same name on here. Nick and Kirsten, why you guys put the same name on here? Let me see if this is her. Nick, is this you or Kirsten?
This is me.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Yeah, he's in the other room. So he's duct taping the kids for you, Jamil.
Love it.
Okay, let me set my timer. So I just wanted to share kind of our journey and what ended up happening, the shift that happened from going to supporting a lot of clients to coaches. We started about 6 months ago. October was our first full month. We had signed on as coaches end of September. We ended up promoting to executive director in our first month. We had so many clients coming on. We were excited. It was an amazing God thing, because the company that I was previous with had actually shut down. So I lost my income. And this income actually replaced, and if not exceeded, the income that I had made with the previous company, working my butt off for about 4 to 5 years. So it was a total blessing. We were, on board, just supporting all these coaches. December was our biggest month. We were like, oh my gosh, this is great. We don't need coaches. We have all these clients. We're doing great. And then January hit. Okay. And all of a sudden you hear January over, everyone's trying to, they're making these New Year goals, and everyone's going to join. And that's not what happened with our business. It was the opposite. All of a sudden, all these clients started falling off, and Nick and I started to panic, and we're going, oh my gosh, what's going on? What's happening? And I remember being on a training, and side note, training is super important. And I say that because we had been on trainings and we had heard the same thing in other previous trainings, but for some reason, this particular training just hit me. And I remember the day, and I remember that shift. And it was talking about bringing on coaches. And I thought to myself, it just hit me, oh, if I bring on coaches, okay, then that's putting insurance on their own health. So most likely they're not going to fall off. I could be supporting my clients, but they're actually coaches, and then they're going to be supporting other people. And I got it. It was like, aha. So then everything started to change. I've always been one who's been very, very consistent. I have a lot of structure, I treat my business like a business. I have business hours. And that's something that I try to teach my team. I think that the celebration calls are really, really important, because this is a relationship business. And when you are, every time that you are on that phone connecting with that client, you're able to plant these little seeds to them. And I was one in the beginning who I said no to coaching. Nick said no to coaching, but after a while, all of a sudden, when we realized we had 7 people that wanted to sign up, we'd be pretty stupid to pass them on to our coach, but it took a while. It wasn't for us too. So those celebration calls are super, super important. But here's what happened. So basically, after that shift happened, I decided I need to be offering the trilogy like to its fullest in every single Explore call that I do. And so this is something like what I'm doing. So after I've gone through the assessment, asked the questions, I let them know, okay, I'm going to add you to the community group that I was telling you about. I'm going to send you an email that's going to kind of recap everything that I've gone over. So, go ahead and take a look at that. And while you're exploring, if anybody comes to mind that is struggling with or losing weight, maybe they need to get off meds, a new mom, someone that just wants to get healthy, or maybe they're already healthy, they just have a heart for helping others, and you think that they would make an excellent coach, then would you mind sending them my way? Well, then what this does is then all of a sudden they go, and this just happened to me like a couple days ago. Well, so what does coaching entail? And I was like, well, actually, we are having a live event on Saturday morning, that's going to go over exploring health coaching. I would love to invite you, and so it just led right into there. Otherwise, you could send them a video or just, tell them and share from your heart, and that's the thing, is this is a heart business and we share from the heart. Now my eyes are just opening to, like Jamil said, people need this. Like, who does not need to make money? And again, it was all mental. It was mental of, realizing that this is so much more than a diet. I cannot imagine if my coach did not share this with us. I cannot imagine if I did not say yes to coaching, because it's literally changed our life. We are this close to being FIBC last month, and this month we're going to do it. With our goal is as global. We will be there. And I'm telling you all this, we are going to be at global. My husband is going to quit his job and be home and have that time freedom and be able to go to lunch with the kids. And our dream is big, and we want it for all our coaches. So that passion just comes through, and we're just excited of, what God is doing in our team. And I guess it's just contagious. That's all I got. It's contagious. Just be you and love on people.
Oh, we're bringing it today. That is so good. And I see the chat blowing up, you guys. This is oh man, I could easily get emotional right here. This is so important, and I'm so glad that we're doing this, and I'm so glad that we have the right people that are finally starting to join us. And I say finally because it takes a while to start to get the right sort of people in an organization to do something which we're trying to do, which is really do our part in helping to change something that really needs to be changed. And we can do that. And I didn't really believe that. I didn't know what that meant before, but now I certainly believe it, and I know what it means. But you have to have the right sort of people. And Kirsten and Nick, you guys, I've told you this from before you're probably even coaches, but it's very easy to spot the caliber of people that you need to make a dent in this world. And so I want to kind of close this thing up with bringing on a woman who none of us would be here if she had not said yes. And I want her to just spend a couple minutes with her heart with talking about, things like vision, and we're talking about mindset and what it means to her these days. And I can't imagine, from looking at what's happening through her lenses and her eyes, and, scrolling on Facebook and watching all these people have success. And I mean, I sent her a text message a couple of days ago, and she's probably not going to go in depth about it, but it was just kind of incredible. So Karen, my friend, can you close us out and sort of talk to us about vision and what that's meant for you over the past 7 or 8 years?
Yes, I would be happy to. And I just want to say that many of you on this call don't realize how blessed you are to have this type of training. This training, why am I last? This makes me totally emotional. This training is so over the top. It is so amazing. Every single person, every one of you that hears my voice, everything is right here for you. Every single thing. All it takes is to do the work and to do it anyway. And I think a vision is really a crystal clear picture of where you're going. And then think of the motivation as the fuel that we burn to get there. And just know, like from my vantage point, that vision and motivation will be challenged a lot, really regularly. And as a new coach 8.5 years ago, I had a very fixed mindset. I just was going to have a lot of clients. And I know many of you are in this place, maybe you have a handful of clients, maybe you have one new coach, or you don't have a new coach at all yet. And I say yet because you will, because you're going to follow the steps. And you're so excited and you have your first coach and you think, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then they start building something. And then you add another coach onto that. And oh my gosh, what it does inside of you is so incredible. And then what starts happening is those lives of the people that you are having join your team start to change and impact more people and impact more people. Do you believe and trust that what you have in your hand is a huge blessing? How many of you personally have been blessed in some way since you joined? Put a 7 in the chat. Personally been blessed. So how can you not share what we have, right? So over time, and I had plenty of times, you know, we've talked about this, we're all more alike than we are different. There were plenty of times in my journey that I questioned as to, can I do this? Is this possible? In my fixed mindset. And then as we brought on more and more coaches, then I wondered sometimes what was going to happen with them. I was so attached. But what shifted for me is I was just there for them. I loved on them. I'd throw the ball to them and they'd throw it back. And as I was going through my journey, and it took a while, it took me way longer than it has taken most of you, because I was so set in my ways. And when my mind shifted to sponsoring and leveraging my time, when I was helping, 50, 60 people, 70 people in a month, and it shift to an abundance mindset, a growth mindset of sponsoring and really building something, and things just started to take off. And so I would sit in a Zoom like this with my mentor coach, Kim Fisk, and we'd have maybe 20 coaches on a call. And I would look at that and I'd think, wow, how cool would that be if everyone on this Zoom call were coaches on my team? And then I started having that vision, how cool that would be. Then it started growing, right? Then I'd be on a call Dr. A had, and I'd look at all the faces like we're looking here today. What do we have? 92 people on here right now. And I don't even think we had that many on some of his calls in the beginning. And I'd look at all these faces and I would just visualize, because it's all vision, that every single person on this call was a coach on my team that I personally enrolled, all these people. But then I had an even huger shift. And I want you to all think about this. Look at everyone on this call, right? And just imagine this, that every single coach on my team has a call like this. And all of these people are each coach's team. Oh my gosh, right? So it is all in the mindset. And that is what allows us to be able to create something huge. When I go to convention, my vision is, what do you think? Everyone at convention is on my team, right? So it is all mindset. It is shifting the mindset. It is, and you've heard everything. I mean, I could repeat everything that you've already heard, but it is so valuable, every single thing. Working on yourself harder than anything else, right? Break the cycle. Don't do what you've always done. Oh, how did that go so fast? How can I talk about vision in my whole entire life in 5 minutes? Okay, so I'm just going to end with this. Work harder on yourself than anything else. We get to choose. We get to choose every single day. Do you want this or do you want that? Don't accept the chatter that keeps you from really creating what it is you really, really want. Everything here is totally done for you. Are you kidding? Our team is helping like over 35,000 people from the ripple effect. And I just thought I was starting a diet, right? So everything you want is right here, right here. Do the work and continually work on yourself every single day. And honestly, you guys, You can have anything and everything you want. Don't let the chatter drive you. Create your vision and work towards it.
So good. Thank you so much. I had the same vision. I left my first national convention, and I live in Long Beach, California, and there's a convention center there. And and I said that one day I want this convention center filled up, and I want it to be I want everyone in there to be directly and indirectly, because I decided to do this. I mean, that's you talk about changing lives. That's doing it, and it's not just talking about it. Lots of people talk, you guys. Please do not be the sort of person that just talks and talks and talks and is not doing the most important thing, which is actually doing the work and action. This country, this world is not going to change by theory. Let me say that again. This country and this world is not going to change by theory. It is only going to change by action. That's it. And what I know is we bring in enough people and we start to help them change their lives. We start to help them live in abundance and build this sort of mindset. This is how we start changing things. It is. So let me, I'm going to have you guys for 3 more minutes. You guys okay with that? So let's, gosh, this is so good, you guys. This is so good. So today, as you know, and in a little bit, we are creating an atmosphere and an opportunity for us to go out there and invite all those on our heart that we care about to a Facebook Live event. And Michelle Bamba, she's just so good. I mean, we just have such a talented group, you guys. So she's going to be hosting, and these stories are powerful. And it's like, my goodness, all we have to do is get the people on there and have them be affected. They are going to hear something that's going to help them realize that this is a great opportunity for them. And if at minimum, they're going to be layered. That's going to be the seed that's going to be planted, and they're going to come maybe the next time we do it. But we're creating the atmosphere for everyone to be successful. All you have to do is do the work and have your people on the Facebook Live. So that's coming up in like an hour and a half. So go on and invite. Let's finish out with your action steps. Here's the deal. If you don't have any coaches right now, or enough coaches, one of the reasons might be because you don't have enough clients. You're not working in abundance. For some reason, we're not moving that dial with helping more people, or we're on all the calls, we're talking about it, but we're not doing it. It comes down to action. It's the most important thing. So because you're not starting enough conversations, we're not having enough health assessments. We don't have enough health assessments. We're not going to have enough clients. So for you, instead of doing a 3x3x3, hey, make a commitment this week to do the 3x3x12. And that 12 is starting more conversations, making more connections, literally picking up the phone, sending an authentic, encouraging message, letting people know you're thinking about them. Go and connect with these people, tell them your story, ask them for help, say things like, for some reason, you were on my mind and heart today. That's how you make a change, not by sitting on Facebook hoping people are going to reach out to you. Go and be active. Activity is where the miracle happens. So layer, plant seeds, drip coaching on all of your integrated clients. Literally go on your map right now and circle those clients that are integrated, that you love, that you love checking in with them. Let's be honest. Some clients you're like, man, I don't really want to check in with you, but I know it's part of my gig and I have to, but man, you kind of bring me down. Put a circle around the ones where you can't wait to hear about their success. You can't wait to get a text message or talk to them. Those people are coaches. Start layering, start dripping, start planting seeds, start celebrating those folks. Invite them to these things that we're putting on in an hour and a half. They are coaches. I promise you from the deepest part of my heart, they are coaches. They just don't know it yet. And if you have not moved to executive director, move to blended executive director If you are executive director, move to a strong executive director this month. Set a game plan. And if you're a strong executive director, move to FIBC. And if you're already at FIBC, it's time for you to go global. It's time for you to start thinking like Karen Elstroms of the world think. It is about abundance, not just for you, but for everyone that's around you. Set your 6 months game plan, you guys. This is so easy if. And that if is there for a reason. So good stuff today. Thank you, guys. I told you we were going to go about 25 minutes over, and that's what we are at. So we'll put up the playback. Let's invite, and continue to be active in the boot camp group. I think we're starting to lose sight of that. I told you guys the boot camp, this Rise Up boot camp, is not these calls. These calls are amazing. We get them for free, by the way. But the calls are amazing. But the training actually happens all week long in the group. So that's where it's important to actually stop being takers. Stop taking information, start being givers. There's lots of ways that we can give. One of the best ways you can give in this family is to give your knowledge, to give your ideas, to give your thoughts, to give your concepts, to give your takeaways. So if we put up a post and say, what are your takeaways, and you see it, please, if you see it, don't like the post if you're not going to comment on it. Make a comment. This is how people grow. This is how you can actually, if your cup is running over with gratitude and you giving, you can pour it out. That's you leaving your comments. And once it's empty, guess what you can put in there again? More. This is how you grow more as a person. Right now, we're taking too much and we're not giving as a family. So please, when you see stuff in the group, it's in the group. These calls are great, but the training is within the group. Love you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you on about an hour and a half.